Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Azaka here, bringing to you the update log for July 10th. So it's actually kind of early, but I think they might have written times wrong. So bear with me. We have apparently okay. This is going to be very weird. So they've written here July 10 update log. They release it on the 7th of the ninth. And they're putting the maintenance still on the 11th. But the time is early. It's going to be 8 to 11:30. That's what, 3.5 hours? So that is the weird thing. I'm thinking they might have accidentally put 11 instead of 10 because that would be the normal date. So stay tuned for when this actually hits. But again, that will be July 11th, Beijing time, UTC plus 8. Still going to be okay. So I mean, like that. I think that might have been a mistake. Just note that the earlier time frame it is the 8. It's 8 o'clock to 11:30. Um, After maintenance, you'll get the bronze coin times 8,000, honor 300, unit metal times 15 compensation. We have a brand new siege map, the um, Mistra Miss ah Mistara Castle. Nested within mountains lies a thousand-year-old fortress from the ancient Agrian city-states war to the sacred crusades. Its outer walls have been baptized by iron and fire countless times. Numerous heroes perished, countless empires vied, yet the castle vied. I'm not sure about that word. I've actually never seen that before. Yet the castle still stands tall, much like a old veteran mocking the ambitious who were thirsty for his blood. As the battles in the Alexander Season heat up, we're excited to introduce a brand new siege map for our warlords, Mistara Castle. All right. So the map intro. Mistara Castle is situated in a gorge surrounded by mountains, leaving the southwest and southeast gap to resist enemies throughout history. Attackers often focus their main attack on the lowlands to the southwest of the castle. Zip lines are okay. They call them zip lines. Are particularly effective here, so defenders usually prioritize the southwest wall for defense. Also, attackers may blast away the southeastern wall and catch the defenders off guard. They're talking about this section here. I believe it's this section here. Yeah, it's this section here. They can blast it open this section here, either go to supply point or a very interesting map overall. The attackers have a very wide open space and several avenues to go in. Two are on the gate, wall break, gate. So again, lots of ways to go in. How the defenders spread themselves out could be twofolds. Again, like you can easily cut off the B side attackers. They'll get this supply point, but cut off the B side attackers by funneling supply onto this side and funneling supply from the north side. But again, that's my experience on the map from the PTR. So don't worry about that. Just we'll probably have to experience more of the map with more people and stuff. That's an interesting thing. I believe that's saying no cav. But yeah, I mean, cavalry cannot be up onto that wall. So if you see cavalry up on the B side, up on that elevated section, yeah, that shouldn't be happening. Yeah, if there was a way to get to the B side more easily without having to rotate right across. I mean, well, maybe I was imagining things. This stairs here is probably an easy way to get to B. Um. Anyway, The layout of the map hasn't doesn't look like it's changed very much. Still got that supply point, secondary supply point. You got the forward supply point here. This one's under threat if B gets taken, so it's easy to push towards this supply point. But the defenders should definitely defend this one because these two supply points will block off these two entrances, and if you funnel the attackers, they'll come out. They'll come out in three sections, but hard to say without just like experiencing the map for yourself. Adjust and optimization. So you have system adjustment and optimization. Item exchange, a max button has been added to the item exchange interface to facilitate the exchange processes. Yeah, so cool. Max button, excellent. I wish it would just always be at max, but again, it's cool that they've added the max button for any time a quantity is required. So we have unit filters. An option for filtering units by stars has been added to the barracks um, warband build and world interface. Additional filtering options for mastery, attire, equipped units, and main units have been added to the barracks page. Cool. I thought that was already a thing. Honestly, thought that was already a thing. Unit related. A quick access button has been added to the unit selection of the warband builds interface, providing quick access to the unit training page. I think I'm not entirely sure what that means, but I'm not sure what that means. Maybe it'll open up the unit interface when you select them from the warband builds. So that would be cool. It just makes things less, well, maybe it'll be cool. Maybe it'll just make things easier. It's just like a quality of life thing. So we have the balance adjustments. Murmulones. During the Murmulo's guard, damage taken is reduced by 30%. Defeat enemy units during the skill will grant Warmong Shield. Again, you need 10 stacks, and um, if it's calculated individually, that would be like 300 kills in order for it to trigger the thing in its entirety. Regardless, it's still a good thing though. It's still a good thing. I think that they should have done it per hit. This way that it's a good boost. It's a good boost straight up because you can get lots of stacks really quickly. But if it's kills, I highly doubt you would ever get Warmong Shield. And most of the time, if not all the time, you'll hit the enemy, and if they die, you get a buff for no reason. Or you could heal up. That could be a thing. The health recovery in Shield will increase from 2% every 1.5 seconds to 3% every 1.5 seconds. Pretty big buff, 50% increase in the healing rate. Again, the constant healing is pretty strong, and it will protect you from a lot of like bleed through damage. Now, I think the biggest change is Brawler's Shield. Strangely enough, I put this down as like basically worthless, but at the same time, um, big change. I don't know how to explain it, but how how this is encoded. So I'll read it out first before I explain. A new tab. I think it's supposed to say a new unit trait. Brawler Shield is added, getting a Warmong Shield effect, increasing piercing, slashing, and blunt defense by 15 points for 20 seconds while Murmulones took damage. I think it's supposed to say take, stacking up to 10 times. Upon reaching 10 stacks, it will consume 5 stacks to get an additional 25% maximum health for 3 seconds. Doesn't matter about the duration. It was 5 seconds before. Now it's 3 seconds. That is this is very strong against units that do a lot of attacks but very little damage. And I'll tell you just straight up, anything that deals less than 5% health to Memilones will never kill Memilones. It's statistically impossible. It's statistically impossible. Unless they only do less than 9 attacks or less than 4 attacks within 20 seconds. um, so good luck with that. Improve the blocking performance of Murmillones during attacks. Great. It just means that they block more often, or they're capable of using block while they're attacking. Now, the 25% maximum health is strong. Don't get me wrong. Too bad that a lot of units will kill the Murmillones before they even proc the passive. That also being said, certain units like the Shenji grenade, and I explained this before, they're going to be completely impervious to it. You can throw Shenji grenades at Murmillones all day, and you would not be getting closer to killing it at all. You may as well just use your guns to shoot them. That's how bloody. That's how bloody. Like this is like complete immunity. Just like you hitting them with the Shenji grenade just heals them up, is what happens. So yeah, they're going to be very. You don't be surprised when you watch them heal up as heroes try to wail on them. And I tell you right now, heroes that try to wail on the Murmillones are actively healing them because heroes are great at just hitting a bunch of units and not realizing that their damage is being dropped down to like a few hundred damage. Like when I'm hitting 10 units with my basic attack, I'm dealing like 500 damage to all of them. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So yeah, there's going to be situations like that, and the Memilonas have very dense formations, so it's not uncommon to have very for the damage to be spread out a lot for against heroes. So uh, as if you're going to try to beat up Memilonas with a hero, try to go for effects or try to make sure you only hit them with really, really, really strong abilities. Like just be careful because it is strong. It's just not strong enough. It's it's not good against the meta units because the meta units just deal so much damage that they just blast through the Memilones, and the Memilones guard the Memilon Memilio's guard is just not doesn't deal enough damage or doesn't have low enough cooldown to out or to compete with the damage output. Before, like Murmillo's Guard was one of the best charges in the game. It was on one of the lowest cooldowns, second only to the Iron Cap Swordsman. Now, there's a lot more abilities now that just are on lower cooldowns, hits harder, that kind of thing. Now we also have Iron Reapers. Does look like nothing's changed. Has an initial reduction to all types of damage of 60. Each hit taken reduces. Okay, so it's supposed to say the very heavy armor trait. So this first part applies to very heavy armor trait. So it's not a new effect. It's not a new effect, by the way. So this is applying to the changes to the very heavy armor trait. So they've changed the initial damage reduction to all types of damage to 60 from 48. Each hit taken reduces the damage reduction by 2.5% down to 18%. It's the same minimum for the old very heavy army trait and the new very heavy armor trait. It's kind of silly though because like it goes to 60 to 18%. You'll know that the last hit will only reduce the damage reduction by 2%. That's just me. I don't like how it's just not a flat number. This should be buffed to 20% just for my sanity. Using Shock and Tiger's Guile will reset the defense effect of Very Heavy Armor Trade, restoring it to 60% damage reduction. So they still have that reset. So on use, so when you use it, either Shock or Tiger's Guile, it will reset Very Heavy Armor Trade back to the 60% damage reduction. It can still be reduced with more hits down to 18%. Honestly, Iron Reapers, meta. Straight meta. Run in, shock. Run in, shock. You might get counterattacked immediately. Tiger's Guiled. You're soaking up so much damage. The enemy is shooting so much damage into you. And again, it's been tested. Not very many units can deal enough damage to still kill Iron Reapers. Imperial Pike March, even if the Iron Reapers charge, won't kill the Iron Reapers. The follow-up Imperial Edict will. Iron Reapers used to never survive running into pikes. Like, charging into pikes was a death sentence for something, even for Iron Reapers. Now they have so much damage reduction, they don't die when you charge them in. It's still stupid to do it, but against units that aren't anti-charge units, and especially if you just walk in and Tiger's Guile, it's it's going to be near impossible to deal with Iron Reapers unless you just have an overwhelming majority, or if you have multiple units facing off the Iron Reapers. Guarantee Iron Reapers meta, straight up, not even a question. The damage reduction being reset is the biggest thing. Even if it's the old 48%, it would probably still hit almost meta. Like, I think it would be meta as just as the infantry of choice, and when you see them on the field, you better be terrified. Now onto the Zwanzia heavy cavalry. The weapon veteran can be interrupted by the startle the horse effect of brace, arquebusiers, and crossbows. So while they're in weapon veteran, if they get hit by any of these things, they might get stunned. Well, sorry, they will get stunned. It's a nothing burger. Most of these things would have either already effective against the Zwanji heavy cavalry or are extraordinarily conditional. Arquebusiers and crossbows, more than likely, even if you could stop the cavalry, it wouldn't stop them long enough for these things to kill them because they're so tanky that you'll probably hit maybe the first five, the rest of them will just slaughter your unit. Most brace would either deal enough damage to kill them or only stop the first few and the rest of them will kill you. It's the same situation. Like, it doesn't matter about stopping this cavalry because it deals enough damage to kill you. Medals work because not only do they startle cavalry at all times with every single one of their attacks, I think it also goes through immunity. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it also goes through this like the like immune to like brace effect thing. It also goes through that. Honestly, you need to survive the damage in order to deal with the cavalry. You can't. You just frankly can't. Not even dedicated brace units are surviving properly. Especially like if you're not Medals. If you're not Medals, you just die. Um, Battle settlement new tags added to the settlement page in Siege, Battlefield, Battle, and Ranked Battle optional achievements have been added. A single player can receive multiple achievements simultaneously on settlement page. MVD awarded to the player with the most damage taken in the match. MVS awarded to the player with the highest assist points in the match. I think it was like most valuable defender, most valuable supporter, and the MVO award is given to the player with the highest contribution point in the match. Like, would that be most valuable objector? 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 What is this? Like, yeah. It's cool that they have these things. I honestly think that like this is just cool to know that you're doing something. That you're that It's good. It's good. These medals, these highlights are very good. And as you can see, the I believe the plus sign definitely gonna have to be support. It's also a longsword. You also have the other longsword getting a shield. Obviously, the defender has to be, and the glaive probably got the highest contribution rate. Um, so yeah, a single player can receive multiple rules simultaneously. So he can have all of these if he's the best player. But I'm pretty sure that like the MVP is normally the guy who does the most damage and stuff. So that does happen. In the P career, you can check the number of times you have received MVP, MVD, MVO, MVS achievement. Added related to the new tags, a heroic exploit category has been added to the P careers. Okay. Players will unlock the following achievements after receiving multiple new tags in siege battles. Weekly quests and weekly challenge optimization. The weekly quests of killing Pacific Hurricanes is removed from the random quest. Added quests to earn assist points, participation points, and damage taken points in siege battle, field battles, and ranked battles for weekly quests and weekly challenge. That is good. I like that. That's easy to complete and simple to do. It just promotes play in these certain aspects. The damage taken points is kind of it can be a bit finicky because there's a lot of times it's really easy to there was a time where it was really easy to farm damage taken points, and that was literally just to bring a lot of serfs and just throw them at the enemy. Throwing I think at one point like throwing serfs at the enemy and just letting them soak damage was so easy to get high up onto the leaderboard because that's how damage taken points would just shoot you up so hard. They've scaled it back, so that's not happening anymore, and it feels like it either caps out really fast, or the limit is really low. I mean, I think that what I said was both ways, but it could. People have been saying it might be a logarithmic, where like you'll keep gaining points, but it will be harder and harder to get the next point, kind of thing. Obviously, you only can get a maximum of 150 points, so yeah, however that's divided up is however that's divided up. In the newbie server and growth server, other quests will replace the weekly quests related to the free battle and field battle. Good. No one does field battle anyway. Free battle is time limited, and I don't think the newbie server has access to the free battles. Changes to the weekly task will take effect in the next time you receive your weekly quest after the version update. The new weekly challenge will be refreshed in the fourth week of the season and in subsequent weekly challenges. Adjustment to the acquisition of battle points. The amount of battle points for achieving MVP or SVP in ranked. SVP? What the heck? Has been increased, and additional battle points will also be granted for. Oh, that's huge. Oh my god, that is huge. So, getting most damage taken, getting most support points, getting the most objective points will grant additional valor points. That is huge and good. I think that's a good change for ranked battle. Definitely gonna have some people that play a certain way and actually go high. I think tankers in particular need this, um, so people who love playing ISG start racking up those damage taken points. Fix the issue of animation error. Sorry, bug fixes and optimization. Fix the issue of animation error when Wu Wei Mansion Guards was pushing the siege towers. Now players can forcibly take over artillery they build on the battlefield. Fix the occasional issue of an unequal number of players in battles. Fix the abnormal status of rapid march while at set sail. Interesting. So another, oh well, not another, a very big patch. We got a lot of changes, some good quality of life, some really interesting things. I do see that they didn't end up sending the companion cavalry's buff. It's a good thing that they didn't buff it. I honestly don't think that they need to buff it. Um, it could also just be a little bit of hindsight as well, or sorry, a little bit of bias as well, that I don't like cavalry being super duper strong. Companion cavalry are still probably not going to see very much play. It's not particularly brute forcey. It's really fun to use. Obviously, we still have problems with the Zhanji heavy cavalry are still wrecking phase. Iron Reapers are going to become meta infantry, and betting you everyone's going to be using them. Murmillona's guards, you might see them for a couple of days. You'll see them get washed out really quickly. Main point is that Murmillona's guards, I mean, the Murmillonas are going to just get killed by high damage units, and that was already the case. It's still going to get killed by high damage units. It's the dynamic doesn't change just because you made it tankier. The amount of damage being output is just outpaces the damage from Murmillona's guards by so many times that in order to kind of equalize it, you kind of need to bring it to like the 60, 70, 80% range. We're talking about damage outputs in the tens of times the Murmillones. It's completely untenable in a sense that you have a majority defensive units and you got this probably 16-second charge that does decent damage, but it's just like one swing of your stupid ass funny looking spear will do more than twice your damage or do the same amount of damage as your entire ability, but I can spam my ability. Like, I'd probably be able to whack you 5 times with my ability before you can charge me a second time. Well, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, but I'm really concerned about like the 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 Iron Reapers. I'm really concerned about the Meriones buff just staying there, not realizing that certain units are just going to be really lambasted by like just really just countered by them. Low ass units deal no damage, going to get completely bodied. Um, Kuggle monks surprisingly are going to get bodied. I think that like those are like Kuggle monks are just like my go-to melee unit when I'm talking about the new changes to Murmillona's guard. I mean Murmillona's, but also like make no mistake, in the meta, it like meta-wise, it's not going to change anything. Especially since like Iron Reapers are now going to be out of the field. Iron Reapers directly counter heavy shield units. They deal so much damage to heavy shield units. They deal extra damage to heavy shield units. They basically reduce the defenses that you get hit by charge and all of that. So I hope the devs fix this. I hope the devs receive feedback. I've been trying to give them feedback. I've been trying to tell them things, but there's only so much one voice can do. So I definitely do want other people to kind of voice their own opinions, whether or not they're going to be counter to mine or whatnot. Just make sure, just make sure that like if you want something to change, you can only just try to get it to the developers. If it doesn't get to the developers, tough luck. Sometimes the loudest voice is the only one heard. But yeah, or they just ignore us all entirely. Um, and if you, for those of you wondering, I did select the Vanguard Archers. I know it's kind of weird as well, if anyone probably thought about it. But Vanguard Archers for the new Mastery Survey. I'm wondering what other people have chosen and wondering what will probably be the pick. If I had to kind of say which one I expect, I honestly expect the Seregs to actually get it. We love infantry. We don't like any of the cavalry on it because the cavalry on it was not very good. Um, oh yeah, before I let you go, let me just quickly check if the other version has something different. So it says um so it's July 10th, UTC +1 goes from 7 to 10. Oh, the hecka? This is a different time frame or what? Yeah, no, this says 7 to 10. Okay, so those of you on the global version are going to get your update from 7 to 10 on July 10th, UTC +1. The maintenance is expected to last 3 hours. That's soon. Oh, no, it's not. That's in like, okay, no, okay, you guys gonna get this, in like 20-ish hours from when I'm reading this. So yeah. Um, blah, 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 blah. Same old, same old, same old. Does look like nothing else. So, let me, well, let you guys go now, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. But other than that, my name's Asuka. Have a nice day. Bye for now.